Mr Speaker, poor value for money. That was the Treasury advice on the government's so-called jobs package last August. Do we have more jobs? No. Less jobs. 168,000 people who are unemployed. More jobs disappearing offshore every day, and the government has refused to invest in jobs and skills. The fact is, Mr Speaker, that this government isn't very smart. And here we are talking today about a bill about smart meters to put the power literally back into the hands of consumers. This bill is timely and it should be supported. Unfortunately, it'll go nowhere because we've got a government that's stuck in mundane and bland thinking, doesn't see its role as investing in skills and jobs, let alone promoting new technologies to deliver new policy directions and transform our economy and our society. I want to talk about smart thinking, something that this government doesn't do, and I'm deadly serious about it because if we don't do some smart thinking, then we're going to stand still as an economy. The communications revolution, massive changes in the way that we live, work and communicate, impacting on healthcare, education, on environmental services. It requires collaboration between the various industries such as the utilities, the telcos and the IT sector. I wish that I could be standing here in this House today and say that that's what's happening in this country. Unfortunately, it's not. Despite a big plan to put $1.5 billion into ultra-fast broadband, this government is doing very little thinking about what it will use that broadband for, how it can drive demand and help transform our society to deliver better education, better health services and energy services through new technology. Instead, in Australia, that thinking is going on. Led from the top, smart thinking. The Rudd government has made the connection between smart meters, new technology, energy efficiency and the importance of government driving change for the good of all society. In Australia, a fundamental shift has taken place in environmental policy since 2007, which has had a huge effect on the utilities market. For the ICT and the energy industries, government initiatives such as smart meters and national fibre telecoms networks are moving in new directions, such as smart grids. By mid-2010, the outlines of Australia's first smart grid project should become visible, starting in Victoria. And the major players are mostly large energy retailers and producers supported by IT and telecommunications firms. The Australians grasp that smart meters should only be considered in the broader context of the modernisation of electricity networks that introduce sensing, communications and information technology onto the grid. Reputable Australian telecommunications analyst Paul Buddha talks about trans-sector thinking, how the Australian government is leading on all infrastructure projects, the potential synergies between the building of roads, sewage systems, water and gas pipe networks, as well as the telecommunications and electricity networks, and the concept of smart communities that are based on intelligent infrastructure such as broadband and smart grids. In this country, you'd hope that alongside the delivery of broadband that there would be smart thinking by our government to go with it, that the government would think to itself, well, we're putting this broadband in place to make people in communities better connected with services that are going to link their homes to broadband. What are we doing as a government to make that happen? Well, stuff all as it happens. I sit on the Commerce Select Committee and last year had a stream of state-owned electricity companies before us for their financial reviews. Meridian, Genesis, Mighty River Power, Transpower and the Electricity Commission. I asked every one of them the same question and I got virtually the same answer. And that question was, given that the efficient use of electricity and saving power are key issues of our time, what more work is being done on it, and is your organisation doing any thinking about where we're going next? The answer was consistently, not much. And then, are you aware of the work that's being undertaken in Australia and other countries around smart grids? Are you doing any thinking about this? The answer was yes to the first and no to the second. So I rest my case, Mr Speaker. There's no smart thinking being promoted by this government in the electricity industry. There's a huge opportunity to use this bill to propel thinking about how to better use smart meters and use new technologies to build smarter communities, save people money on their fuel bills,
Sorry to interrupt the member.
save energy.
Her time has
That's
expired.
smart. This government